Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the TexasSpaceNavy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And today we have MISC and Mirai. This is what, day 8 of the cells? Yeah, day 8 of Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Awesome. I do apologize how late the video is getting out. I had to work this morning, so I was not able to get the video out this morning. It's the life of having to do with retail. And then I also work tomorrow morning, so I won't be able to get that video out. But just keep in mind that like MISC and Mirai will be on sale today and tomorrow. So it's not like these prices aren't good for both. Okay. So, and then they'll go on sale again at the end of the event. So just keep that in mind. Don't let my lateness of the video deter you if you are interested in buying one of these ships. So let's go into MISC. And again, you don't have to buy ships with real world money. You just have to get a package, like a $40 entry level package, starter package, to be able to play the game. Everything else you can buy in game. So don't feel obligated to buy any of the ships at all. But if you want to save time, save grind, and get to a ship that you're really wanting, then you're probably going to spend some money. And one of those ships that a lot of people are very interested in is the Endeavour. The Endeavour is a really cool ship. It's going to be very long, almost as long as a Javelin, I believe. The front section is an explorer ship that you can actually detach from the rest of the ship and leave the rest there while you're exploring with it. There are multiple modules you can use in the middle section, and then of course there's a rear section where the engineering and all that is. Now $350 is only for the base model. If you want the modules, those come separately, such as the Endeavour Biodome pod, which will allow you to, grow your own foliage and, plants and everything else. Maybe you're going to discover space weed or something in there. Who knows? $100 for that particular module. You also have the Endeavour Collider, which is going to allow you to research things to do with increasing weapon power, whether it's lasers or mass drivers or whatever. The Collider is going to help all sorts of research when it comes to that, and probably help research with shields and everything else, I would imagine. $125 on it. It's one of the more expensive pods. Then you have the crew pod at $25. Here you can see the service equipment and crew pod. It's a smaller one. You do have a limited amount of space on the Endeavour for pods. I believe it's 2x2 or something like that. 2 top, 2 bottoms, something along those lines. So you can't have a whole lot on there. You have the fuel pod at $35. That's the one in the back there. There's the landing pad or landing pod, which is $75. I would think this would be more expensive, but hey, that's me, I guess. Then you also have the Endeavour Med pod at $75. Again, I would think that would be more expensive. For some reason, it's not, but hey. Now, you could get the Endeavour Hope class, which would have both of these included on it. It's a hospital ship, so it's going to be the best at medical gameplay in the game. So if you want the hospital ship, look for the Hope Endeavour, or the Hope Endeavour Hope class, or I don't know it's one of those. It's the Hope class Endeavour. Okay. Or you could just get it yourself, get the pods, etc. You can also get the master set, which is the Endeavour with all the pods. So you'll be able to switch them all out whenever you wanted to. There's the research pod. It's $45. As you can see, research is right here. And then the science pod, which is the one in the front, a little bit bigger there, $45. The telescope pod, $125. It's going to enable you to be able to find wormholes and stuff that have been undiscovered, anomalies within a system. Maybe secret bases, who knows? But the telescope pod is kind of designed to be able to do that kind of work. Let's move on to the next ship, which is the Expanse here. The Expanse is going to be your refining ship. It's going to work hand in hand with a prospector or a mole. It's going to be able to refine the ore and then drop the pods off for somebody else to go pick up and take back to sell if you want to have a efficient group anyways. Otherwise, you'll be running it yourself. But yeah, it can do a certain amount of pods, and then it's going to need to switch them out. So great with the prospector, could be okay with the mole. I don't know how fantastic it will be with the mole. The mole will produce ore a lot quicker than maybe this can refine it, but we'll have to see. $150 for the Expanse. The Freelancer at $110. It's a great little ship. Is it better than the Cutlass? It's not nearly as maneuverable. It could probably take a hit a little bit better than the Cutlass. Designed could be for more than just the two people that generally are on a Cutlass. I mean, again, two people is probably the most I would want on a Freelancer, but I think it's got beds up to 4 people and seats up to 4 people. So you could have more. Definitely has a nice little cargo area in the back. Decent guns. Horrible view. And not the best maneuverability. It's a decent little freight ship, especially if it's just you and 1 or 2 other people, and you just want to go run cargo from here to there or do some box missions or something like that. It's a great ship for that. Then you got the Freelancer Jur. This is all about exploration. It's got the extra fuel pods. It's got the sensors up here. $135, and you can go explore the universe. Now, I don't know what they're going to do on the fuel side of things. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I don't think the fuel mechanics have been ironed out 100%. Freelancer Max. This is the best freight version of the Freelancer. So if all it is you want to do is cargo run, this is the best bet. Still has the weapons, has a bigger butt because it's got 2 engines on each pylon here to be able to support the expanded cargo hold. So you'll be able to fill up more cargo in there or vehicles in there and go from point A to point B. Moving on to the Freelancer Miss at $175. This is the gunship variant of the Freelancer. How great is it as a gunship? Well, it's okay. I mean, $175 seems like it might be a lot, but it is definitely much more armored than the regular Freelancer. Of course, it has good guns. It still has the turret. It still has cargo. I mean, it still has a lot of the things that you would like on any of the Freelancers. But the price tag is kind of high. So hopefully they make the ship worthy of the price tag at some point. I mean, I know at one point it was very good, but they kind of took some of the maneuverability and stuff away from it. So we'll have to wait till all the balances are in the game to see how or where this ends up. Then we move on to the freight series of ships, the Hull series. The Hull A is the smallest freighter of the Hull series. As you can see, you got the front end, then the middle section, it'll open up and a spline will come out to where you can put cargo on it. And then, of course, you have the rear section, which is where engineering would normally be. $90 for the Hull A. It's designed more for ground to space station transfer of cargo, but obviously, you know, you can use it for longer trips as well. You could do the Hull B if you really want to go kind of cross system. It's got a much bigger payload or bigger cargo area that you can haul, you know, different cargo with. $140 for it. Then we go to the Hull C, which is going to be like the main cargo hauler for most freight companies in the verse. I say this, it's not even the biggest. There's a couple more that are bigger than this one, but this is kind of the standard. It's going to require multiple people to run efficiently because you're going to need the pilot, you're going to need a couple of gunners, you're probably going to need an engineer or a navigator or both. So you're definitely going to want some help. And not to mention, when you start getting into the ships this size with this much money and cargo on it, you're going to want some fighter escorts or support. The Hull C, I don't know what I would recommend using as support for it, but you know, you may want to go all the way up to an Idris or a couple Perseuses, maybe Polaris, one of those. It just depends on where you're going and through what systems, but I would definitely dedicate a bigger ship and some smaller ships to escorting these. The whole C, $500, and that's because it's also in the game. It went up. I would expect this one, the whole D, to go up to $650, and this is a much bigger version of the whole C. I say much bigger. I mean, the whole C is pretty big, but the whole D is like Idris size. It's big, so it can carry a lot of cargo. Right now, $550 is a good deal compared to what it will be when it actually gets in the game, most likely. Then you have the whole E, which is like a super freighter. These things could be rare in the system or in the Star Citizen universe. $750. I mean, not many people are going to buy this thing for the super freight, but you're going to definitely want to protect it with like an Idris or a Javelin or something like that when you travel, because of all the money that's going to be tied up in that cargo. Then we go on to the Odyssey. It's $700. The Odyssey is another exploration vessel, but it's one that can sustain itself almost indefinitely out in space, because it's going to have the capability of mining and refining its own ore. So you'll be able to jump, use, get quantum fuel. You'll be able to use whatever it takes to create jump fuel, most likely. This thing will be able to do all of that. Plus, it's got a bay for, a fighter, so it's going to be pretty cool. I really like the design of this ship and the idea behind it. $700 for it. That is a lot of money, but it is like an in-game explorer, much like the Carrack. They both have similar but differing roles in the exploration department. We'll put it that way. Then you have the Prospector, which is the entry-level mining ship, and it's definitely worth the $155 because you can mine for hours and make tons of credits using this ship. So, yeah, I'd say it's definitely worth what you pay for it. You got good visibility. It drops these pods off when they're full, or you can for an Expanse or some such to come pick it up, or you can take it to your own refinery. It's a great ship, especially for the price. Now we're going to get into the Reliant series. The Reliant series is mostly starter ships for MISC. And the bare bones one is the MISC Reliant Core. This one is about as bare bones as it gets for starters for the Reliant series. You have a spot for 2 people in the front. You don't have to have 2 people to fly it efficiently. It is... It can fly vertically or horizontally, so it's kind of cool that it's kind of like a transformer in a way. But $65 for it, I would actually recommend staying away from this one, personally. There are better ships at that price. Then you have the Reliant Mako. The Mako is in a category all to its own. There's no other ship in the game that has this design. It's designed to be a news van. It's all about the news, reporting. It says capture the drama. I guess you could make movies with it too. But it's all designed to capture video and transmit that across the verse. $95. Like I said, that's kind of a rare thing. Not many people are going to have this because A, there's not a use for it in the game yet because they don't have that game mechanic in yet. And B, not many people want to be news reporters, right? I think it goes further than that. I don't feel like it's got the speed to be able to keep up with certain ships. Let's say you want to do a race or something. You're not going to be able to keep up with the racers. So I think there needs to be another ship that does like drones or something for news. The Reliant Sin is a scientific version of the Reliant. So it's going to have a science bay in it. Not real sure what that one's going to, or how that one's going to benefit most people, but it'll be able to do different things that will catch your eye, I'm sure, eventually down the road in the game. whether it's, you know, discovering the space weed again, or able to boost weapons, something along those lines. We'll have to wait and see what they make it capable of. $85. And then the Reliant Tana, the last one in the series, is a light fighter. As you can see, it's mostly vertical in most, I guess, scenarios. Again, I don't know that I would recommend this one. It's not bad. It really isn't. But meta-wise, it's not great. There's other ships at a better value that, you know, you could use over this one. That's just going to be better in a fight. It's too big. That's one of the problems. It's got too big of a silhouette you're able to hit. Then we move on to the MISC Starfarer. This is the king of refueling other ships. That's its whole purpose in life, is to refuel other ships. It has a cargo ramp in the back with substantial cargo space. It's got the guns on top, guns back here on the wings, guns in the front. I mean, it's got guns everywhere for a big, slow, heavy ship refueling vessel. Yeah, but if that's the kind of gameplay you're interested in, $300 will get you a Starfarer. Hopefully they redesign it, if you ask me. I'm hoping. But yeah. Then we have the Starfarer Gemini, which is it's a military version of the Starfarer. It's armored up. It has missiles instead of a fuel intake, which you can actually change back and forth if you want to. Just going to be a stronger version of it, in case, you know, the muggers come along, try to mug your regular ship. It's going to be a lot harder to mug the Gemini version. $340 for the Starfarer Gemini. So let's take a look and see what the MISC Complete Pack is. $4,200 on Warbond, and then it's $4,700 for the credit version of it. Let's move on to Mirai. So, Mirai is a subsidiary company of MISC. It's like the little offspring or offshoot that they created that should be, I guess, the performance version of MISC. So it's going to have the higher end performance vehicles. But we start off with the Fury. This thing is a little snub fighter. So it's not designed to fly long distances, doesn't even have a quantum drive, so you're not able to quantum jump. Definitely not a jump drive. But yeah, I think this thing's going to pack a punch, and everybody's going to fall in love with it, especially in large swarms of these Furies coming at you. So let's say, for instance, you fill up an Idris full of Furies. That could be pretty devastating if you got enough people to fly them, and you could swarm somebody. $55 for a snub fighter. Again, that's going to be up to you. You're going to need a way to transport it, so hopefully you have a ship that you can do that with. Otherwise, you're wasting your money. The Fury LX is the Fury without guns and with all the tweaks on the engines. So it's supposed to be super fast, $55, and you're going to be able to compete on the Murray Cup with it. The Fury MX is the missile variant of the Fury, so $55 for that, and it's all missiles all day, all the time. So be prepared. Or I should say, your enemies should be prepared. Now here is the provocative or controversial switch that we didn't see right away. Is the Razer line of ships is no longer considered MISC, but it's considered Mirai. I find that very, very interesting. So with that said, you've got the F1 racer type vehicle or ship that they call the regular Razer, and yeah, it's a fast ship, but and a little bit maneuverable, but it's not meant for dogfighting. It's really a racer. Then you have the stealthy version of the Razer, which is more for me like spying, interdicting, that sort of thing, because it is somewhat stealthy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where else you'll use this except for maybe, to capture enemy comms or something without them knowing it and getting the heck out of Dodge. Aurora LX is a fancier version of the Razer. I'm sorry, not the Aurora, the Razer. The Razer LX. It is fancier in every way. Is it better? I don't know. I mean, it depends on how you fly. I mean, the regular Razer is pretty quick, but this one does have some unique features. Probably fully leather interior, that sort of thing. So the Mirai Razer LX, $150. You could get the Mirai complete pack for $525 or for $585 in credits. So $525 cash or $585 in credits. With that said, I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy. Let me know in the comments down below which ships you're going to get, which ones you're going to avoid. Are you trying to get, the Expanse, or you're trying to get the Endeavour? What are you wanting to get? Are you trying to get the newest ship, the Odyssey? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy. I'll see you out in the verse.